He's going to pull up his chest, unlock his knees, and just like the RDL, once he unlocks his knees, he's not going to bend them anymore. What's happening?
My shoulder's tight.
We're working with an old man here who can barely perform movements with 135 pounds. He's doing everything wrong right now. Hi, this is Jake Rao from CrossFit RVA, and this is episode 29 of the MovementRVA video series. This week, we're going to be talking over a few basic movements to help your posterior chain and get you bigger squats and pulls. Today, we're here with Jamie Schultz, owner of Superfit Games and head trainer here at CrossFit RVA. And the first movement we're going to look at is the Snatch Grip RL. First, Jamie's going to take the grip on the bar with his snatch grip and stand all the way up. He's going to pin his shoulders back a little bit, get his lower back into full extension, and then slightly unlock the knees. From this point on, he's not going to bend the knees anymore. When I tell him to start, he's going to think about shifting his hips back towards the wall and keeping his chest out over his feet rather than sliding out in front of him. So go ahead and slowly slide the hips back. He's going to keep those lats super tight, dragging the bar back into his shins and thighs, and just hinging back and through with his hips. One of the biggest things we're looking for is that his back stays in full extension at all times, especially through the lumbar, and that he's not getting loose through the upper back either. The next movement we're going to be going over is the good morning. First off, you can see that Jamie took the bar out of the rack much as he would for a normal back squat. So the bar is in a low bar position, hands over the bar, elbows pulled back, and his feet are going to be fairly wide. So go ahead and slide them out just a little bit more. He's going to be paying special attention to keeping his lumbar extension in place the whole time and kind of keeping that chest lifted as well to keep it in place. First thing he's going to do, just like the RDL, is unlock the knees and just relax them a hair. From here, he's only going to slide the hips back and through. So go ahead, start pushing the weight back to the heels, chest forward, good, and hips through. He's only going to go as far as he can without breaking any of that lumbar extension. So if he gets to a point where his back's relaxing, he knows he's gone too far. This movement is in a lot of ways similar to the RDL, but because the bar is up on your back, it takes a little bit less stress at the upper back. You can typically load it a hair heavier and also put a little more stress there on the lower back. Let's go ahead and rack it up. The next movement we're going to be working on for this series is a glute ham raise. The first thing we want to look at is how the machine's set up. The closer we have this pad to the hip pad, the more challenging it's going to be. We do want to see that once you get into the machine, the knees are just at or behind the hip pad. The lower you drop the feet, the more the easier, I should say, the movement's going to be. So figure out a setup that works for you. Jamie, go ahead, hop in. We've already set this up for Jamie, so we know it's going to work. You'll see first, his knees are going to be right before the hip pad when he's setting up. We do want to start with those knees fully extended, and he's going to come all the way down, folding at the hips. He's going to smoothly open up the hips to the full hip extension, and then bend at the knees. Let's try another one. Hit that full hip extension first. So he's going to open up the hips all the way, and then move at the knees to come all the way up. One of the biggest faults we see commonly is bending at the knees before opening up the hips fully. This makes it so you can sort of pass over that forceful glute extension and takes a lot away from the movement. So let's do one more good rep. Open up the hips fully, fold at the knees, up to full extension, and back on down. And that's the glute ham raise. We would typically program these movements in at the tail end of a workout that already has a significant posterior chain stress, such as back squats, deadlifts, or even Olympic lifts. For those good mornings and the RDLs, we typically start at about 50% of your back squat 1 rep max for the weight. And for all 3 movements, we stick to the 5 to 10 rep range for 2 to 3 sets. That was episode 29 of the MovementRVA weekly video series. Make sure you check us out next week for episode 30. We also have a weekly podcast that comes out every Friday. And if you're ever in Richmond, Virginia and looking for a great CrossFit gym, come on by CrossFit RVA and we'll take care of you.